So the morning starts with mindful practice, and that day, Tuesdays, always feels a little bit more calm. It feels like they're just a little bit more engaged or focused. We do reference a lot of the things, so if she's spoken about mindful walking, for example, that day, then we'll reference it throughout the day, and it's fresh for them, so they kind of, they're really doing that stuff, and they're talking about it every Tuesday, and it's having an impact in the classroom for sure. It's something that we use as like an intervention sometimes with kids like who have like this nervous energy, and we'll be like, let's think about our mindful practice. Let's think about how to center ourselves, how to like avoid distractions. And they really respond to that language. For me, when that was sort of put forward during my interview process, it was really intriguing. I definitely thought it signals like an entirely different kind of approach to education and an entirely different sort of like orientation to the whole child that I think is really, really important and contributes to the success of this school and the kids here. So definitely it influenced my decision to come here. But the yoga and mindfulness program is so important in supporting that because it's teaching kids what that feels like. It's hard to talk about something like empathy and not have them ever experience what that feels like in their heart and in their body. And the yoga and mindfulness program is really helping them reach that place inside of them. And I think that is what makes it so powerful. That's what kind of closes the whole circle. It totally transcends the school. So like one example is, it's become a part of the way that I think about myself. And so when I'm outside of the school, like there was the other day I was late to work, which happens occasionally. And I was feeling harried, and I remembered that I could just name my feeling, that I could just say, I am rushing, and acknowledge that, and sort of notice it, and be okay with that. And that had like a profound impact because it just made me feel so much in control of my environment. It's so important that you have the mind of an educator, that you're able to make those connections for the kids and allow them to make the connections. That this is a skill, and it's a life skill. And just like the skills that you learn in math or in English or whatever, that they have transcendent value, that they matter outside of the classroom. And you learn them here and you practice them here, but they are of use to you outside of the school. And really only an educator can understand the value in that and then also teach to that point. This focus on noticing and this sort of emphasis on just really like sitting down in this moment, right? And letting this moment be there and you be in it. That has been really, really important because in previous teaching experiences that I've had, it's like I'm always thinking ahead. I'm always thinking of the next thing. Or I'm thinking of the thing that I messed up a few minutes ago, right? And I think part of me then thought that that was me being responsive. But actually, I was never in that moment. I was never thinking about what was happening right now, and let me just focus on that, and let me address that, and let me let that guide what I do next. I wasn't thinking about the present moment, and I thought that I was being strategic then. But actually, I found that this idea of just notice what's happening right now, and let it be okay with you. And let it be all right that you don't have 100% of girls engaged because you're trying something new. Be in this moment and be okay with it. That has really transformed the way that I respond to the children, the way that I'm like, it's that whole clearing the space idea, right? So it's like I stop in that moment and I'm like, let me clear the space, and that automatically allows me to access them in a different way, right? And access my own sort of thinking about a strategy because I've cleared that space. What I've seen is that they're able to put a lot of things aside, a lot of distractions aside, or a lot of other ideas, and they're able to just look at this one question or this one part of a question and really just dig deep into it because they've practiced and exercised that muscle of pushing distractions away and focusing on one point or listening to one sound. And it's a practice and a process, so they're still working on this skill, but definitely I see that I can teach to so much more specific things somehow because they're able to their brain is functioning